Imagine biting into a juicy, sun-ripped tomato bursting with flavor and knowing you've grown it right in your backyard. There's a certain allure to homegrown tomatoes that store-bought ones just can't compete with. This allure isn't just about the freshness or the satisfaction of nurturing something from seed to harvest. It's also about the control you have over the process, knowing exactly what goes into your food and how it's grown. Homegrown tomatoes are the epitome of garden-to-table freshness. They're grown and ripened naturally, kissed by the sun, and untouched by the cold storage processes that can sap the life out of store-bought tomatoes. When you slice open a homegrown tomato, you're greeted with a vibrant red hue, a fragrance that's unmistakably tomato, and a taste that's just as nature intended. Sweet, tangy, and bursting with flavor. Growing your own tomatoes also means you can experiment with a wide variety of types. From cherry tomatoes that pop in your mouth to hefty heirloom tomatoes with their unique flavors and colors, the world of tomatoes is far more diverse than what's typically found on supermarket shelves. But the benefits extend beyond the taste. It's also about the satisfaction of watching a tiny seed transform into a thriving plant. There's a certain joy in tending to your plants, watching them grow day by day, and finally harvesting the fruits of your labor. It's a labor of love that brings its own rewards, a sense of accomplishment that's hard to put into words. Growing tomatoes at home can also be a great family activity. It's an opportunity to teach kids about the importance of patience, care, and the cycle of life. It's a chance to spend time outdoors, away from screens and in touch with nature. And let's not forget the environmental benefits. Homegrown tomatoes mean less dependence on commercially grown produce, which often involves long-distance transportation and extensive use of pesticides. By growing your own, you're reducing your carbon footprint and contributing to a healthier planet. Ready to experience this bliss? Stick around as we delve into the secrets of growing juicy tomatoes. Great tomatoes start with great soil. Here's how to prepare your ground for planting. In the world of gardening, soil is the unsung hero, the backbone of every thriving plant. And for tomatoes, it's no different. The first step to a lush tomato harvest is creating the perfect home for your plants. Choosing the right location is crucial. Tomatoes love the sun, so find a spot that receives at least 6 hours of sunlight each day. A sunny, open area with good air circulation will keep your plants happy and healthy. Next, let's talk soil. Tomatoes prefer a well-drained, loamy soil, rich in organic matter. But don't fret if your garden soil isn't perfect. You can amend it. Start by testing your soil. You can get a basic soil test kit from a garden center or online. This will give you valuable information about the soil's pH and nutrient levels. Tomatoes prefer a slightly acidic to neutral pH, between 6 and 7, so you might need to adjust accordingly with lime or sulfur. Now it's time to prepare the planting site. Clear the area of any weeds or debris. If you're working with heavy clay or sandy soil, add compost or well-rotted manure. These magic ingredients improve the soil structure, increase its ability to hold water and nutrients, and promote beneficial soil microorganisms. Till or dig the soil to a depth of about a foot to loosen it. This makes it easier for the tomato roots to penetrate and spread. Add a balanced, slow-release fertilizer according to the package instructions. This will give your plants a good nutrient boost as they establish. Lastly, create a planting hole or trench, depending on your planting method. Make it twice as wide and as deep as the root ball of your tomato plant. And voila! You've created the perfect base for growing luscious, juicy tomatoes. By investing time and effort in preparing the ground, you're ensuring your plants have the best possible start. With your ground ready, you're set to plant your tomatoes and watch them flourish. Now that your ground is ready, it's time to plant your tomatoes and set them up for a successful growth journey. For planting, you have two options, seeds or seedlings. If you're going with seeds, sow them about 1/4 inch deep and approximately 1 inch apart. If you're using seedlings, dig a hole deep enough to cover up to the first set of leaves. This encourages the development of a strong root system. Keep in mind, tomato plants love the sun, so ensure they have a spot where they can bask in at least 6 hours of daylight. Spacing is key too. Give your plants room to breathe, with at least 2 feet between each one. This not only allows for good air circulation but also makes it easier for you to move around them when it's time for pruning and harvesting. Speaking of pruning, it's a vital part of caring for your tomatoes. Pruning helps direct the plant's energy towards producing fruit rather than unnecessary foliage. So don't be shy about snipping off those non-fruit-bearing branches. Watering is another crucial aspect of tomato care. Tomatoes are thirsty plants, but they prefer a drink rather than a shower. So, water at the base of the plant, not the leaves. And remember, it's better to water deeply and less frequently than to give them a light sprinkle every day. And let's not forget staking. Tomato plants aren't the most stable of plants and can easily topple over under the weight of their own fruit. Staking gives them the support they need to grow tall and strong. There are several staking methods you can use, from traditional stakes to cages or even trellises. Choose the one that best suits your garden and your plants. Remember, your tomato plants count on you for their care. Keep them happy, and they'll reward you with a bountiful harvest. Like us, tomato plants face threats and need nutrients to thrive. Let's talk about protecting and nourishing them. Growing tomatoes can be a rewarding experience, but it's not without its challenges. Pests and diseases are two of the most common hurdles gardeners face. However, there are natural and organic ways to keep these threats at bay and ensure your tomato plants flourish. Common pests include aphids, hornworms, and stink bugs. These tiny creatures can cause significant damage if not controlled. One natural method of pest control is introducing beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings into your garden. These friendly bugs are natural predators to many common pests and can help maintain a balanced ecosystem. To deter larger pests, such as rabbits or deer, consider installing a fence around your tomato plot. Alternatively, try scattering hair clippings or soap shavings around the plants. These scents can be off-putting to many animals. Disease can also wreak havoc on your tomato plants. Fungal infections like blight or wilt are particularly common. To prevent these, ensure your plants have plenty of space for airflow and avoid watering the leaves, focusing instead on the soil. If you notice signs of disease, remove and dispose of the affected plant parts immediately to prevent spreading. Just as important as protecting your plants is nourishing them. Tomatoes are heavy feeders and require lots of nutrients to produce those juicy fruits. Organic compost or well-rotted manure are excellent choices for feeding your plants. They not only provide essential nutrients, but also improve the soil's structure and water-holding capacity. Consider also using a natural liquid fertilizer, like seaweed extract or compost tea during the growing season. These can provide a quick nutrient boost when your plants need it most. Remember, healthy plants are more resistant to pests and diseases. By providing your tomatoes with the right nutrients and protecting them from threats, you can ensure a bountiful harvest. Armed with these tips, you can help your tomato plants resist pests and diseases and provide them with the nutrients they need. The moment you've been waiting for has arrived. It's time to harvest your tomatoes and savor their deliciousness. One of the most fulfilling moments in a gardener's journey is the day they get to reap what they've sown. Today, we're talking about the sweet taste of success, your hard-earned, homegrown tomatoes. Knowing when your tomatoes are ripe for the picking can be a bit of a guessing game, but here are some tips. You're looking for a uniform, vibrant color, generally a luscious red, but this can vary depending on the tomato variety. The fruit should be firm, but with a slight give when you gently squeeze it. Harvesting is an art in itself. Use a pair of sharp, clean pruners or a knife to cut the fruit from the vine, leaving a bit of the stem attached. This helps prolong the shelf life of your tomatoes, keeping them fresh for longer. Now that you've harvested your tomatoes, what's next? Well, the world is your oyster, or rather, your tomato. Freshly picked tomatoes are a delight in a crisp salad, adding a burst of color and flavor. You can slice them up and layer them in a juicy sandwich or chop them up for a tangy salsa. But the magic doesn't stop there. You can take your culinary adventure a step further. How about making your own homemade tomato sauce, or a tangy tomato jam, or even sun-dried tomatoes? The options are endless, and the taste is incomparable to anything you'd buy off a supermarket shelf. The joy of growing your own food is not just in the act of gardening itself, but also in the rich, flavorful rewards that follow. It's about the satisfaction of knowing that the food gracing your table came from your very own garden, grown with your own two hands. Congratulations, you've successfully grown your own juicy tomatoes. Now go ahead, share your experience, and inspire others to do the same.